Welcome to the MyTech Toolbelt podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Shannon.
And I'm Brenda. And this is a podcast where we highlight educators who innovate, engage, and inspire through the use of technology. Thank you so much for joining us today for episode 28 of the MyTech Toolbelt podcast. Can you imagine almost getting to the end of your very large 14-hour 3D printing project and, oh no, the printer missed a whole entire level? Now, you have your 3D project in two pieces, but have no way of joining them together. Looks like you're going to have to start all over again, right? Well, this exact thing happened to our guest, Maxwell Bogue from 3Doodler. Listen to find out what he and his partner did to fix the situation. After our interview, Shannon and I give a quick preview of the Spring Q19 conference. We can't wait to see you all there, especially those of you who are #new to Q. We have made it our mission to meet as many of you as possible. So please come and find us. So, without further ado, first up is our interview with Maxwell Bogue of 3Doodler. Max, welcome to the MyTech Toolbelt podcast. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Can you tell us a little about your journey to starting the 3Doodler?
So, WabaWorks, or the company that we formed, originally was started as an R&D firm for the toy and technology industry, where we were conceiving up ideas and concepts and then selling them to larger companies or corporations that could then take those ideas and bring them to market. So there's a whole industry actually out there of people like myself who come up with concepts and then sell them to larger companies, especially like toy companies that are always looking for the newest and latest invention, or tech firms that want some gizmo or gadget or something of that nature. So primarily that's what we were doing, was inventing things, selling them to larger companies, or consulting with larger companies in order to help them with products because of our experience within the industry. So that's what we were doing. And we were using a 3D printer quite extensively to make prototypes to bring to meetings, to demo to people. And we were working on a robot dinosaur for a company called Meccano, also known as Erector Sets. So they wanted a robot dinosaur, not made with Erector Sets. It was just a separate kind of concept. And we were 3D printing one of the legs for this two-leg walking robot dinosaur that's called Trudy. It's based off of a Trudosaurus. And the 3D printer made a mistake. And the way a 3D printer works is it's layered on layer to make a physical object. And you're laying down plastic. And it missed a layer. But it kept going. So you had these two perfectly good pieces, but they were joined together. So there was no structural rigidity with them. You couldn't do anything with them. And it was this particularly long 14-hour print. And we're like, what do we do now? We're going to have to scrap the whole thing, print it again. We'll never make the meeting in time. This is crazy. And then my business partner looked over at the 3D printer and literally said, man, I wish you could just take the nozzle piece off of the 3D printer and then use that to weld those two pieces together. Why can't you do that? And we're like, yeah, it's a shame you can't do that. And then we're like, wait a minute, why can't you do that? And so we quickly went and we designed some parts up, and we printed out parts from the 3D printer that took only a few minutes to make. And then we took the nozzle and the motor and the whole heating system off of the 3D printer and then used the parts that we had just printed out to kludge together this thing that was essentially the nozzle, the stepper motor, and Arduino to tell it what to do, and put it all together. And it had 3Doodler written on the side because we thought it was funny. And then we used that to weld those two pieces of plastic together. Thus, we're like, huzzah, we've fixed this thing. And I go, that was pretty neat. I wonder what else this thing can do. And I bet it hardens so quickly that you could quite literally draw in the air. And then we quickly realized that you could actually draw vertically in the air and make three-dimensional objects vertically. And then we're like, oh, hey, that's neat. I wonder what else you can do with this. And then I was like, I bet you could do flat things and then join those flat things together And then you could make a three-dimensional structure. So we quickly made like an Eiffel Tower. And we're like, oh, cool, that's neat. I wonder what else you can do. And then we kept just coming up with more and more things that you could use this thing for. And we're like, you know what? I think we need to stop because there's no end to what you can do. Let's just make the product. Let's just move forward with it. And then we actually took the concept to a number of major companies and said like, hey, check it out. We've made a pen that can draw in the air. And then a lot of these companies are like, yeah, but what would you do with that? And we went, okay, that's fine. We'll just kickstart it. We'll see what happens when other people like see this. It's not that uncommon that when someone comes up with something new that a lot of people at major companies are just like, I don't get it. The populace, though, seemed to get it. So we put it on Kickstarter, and we raised around $2.3 million on Kickstarter, pre-selling the pen, which then funded the whole company moving forward and basically pivoting to manufacturing rather than pure R&D. So now we have the 3Doodler. Since then, we have constantly updated and changed this very simple concept, but into a very much more complicated one, where we have now the 3Doodler Start, which is for ages 6 and up. And then this uses a special, we call it eco-plastic. It's a biodegradable, compostable plastic that operates at an extremely low temperature. And it's ideal, especially for like elementary school style teaching, where you have a USB rechargeable device. So it's just a standard mini USB. It's got one button rather than a fast and a slow, and you simply click once. And more importantly, the material as it's coming out is cool to the touch. It's like warm, but it's not hot, so it won't burn you, whereas the other one will burn you. So I can quite literally make a ring by drawing it on my finger and wrapping around a few times, and it takes a little bit longer to harden than the Create Plus, this one takes around 15 seconds to harden, which means that you have, I know, right? It's like forever. The advantage is actually that it gives a student time to manipulate and shape. So like I can mush and mold, so to speak, during those 15 seconds. So if something was wrong or I want to change something, I can always add a dab of material and it'll soften the whole thing back up, and I'm able to then alter or change that piece. So like I wanted this to be bigger, and then if I wait that 15 seconds, it'll harden and then it'll stop moving. Yeah. And you can kind of see it slowly getting more and more difficult, and now it's hardened. And
that thing you just put in the back of that looks like spaghetti.
This is the filament.
Got it.
This is the 3Doodler Start Eco plastic, or the special plastic for Start, which is the biodegradable plastic. So it's home compostable, meaning you could throw it into a home compost. With the 3Doodler Create Plus, we have more filaments. So we have ABS plastic, the world's most common plastic. We have my personal favorite, which is Flexi. But living hinges or something of that nature, my wallet.
That wallet is 3D printed? I mean...
It's 3Doodles.
3Doodles?
Yes.
Wow.
So this whole wallet, the entire wallet, it's actually a 30 to 45 minute project. You do it flat. It's rectangles, right? If you can do 3 rectangles, and then you use the pen to join 3 sides of the 3 rectangles together, and then I use the pen again to make 2 smaller rectangles to make the pockets, and I just simply joined it on 3 sides, and wallet.
Wow.
So, I mean, we have, on the fashion side, it goes quite extensive. There are people that are making dresses, and the advantage is that these materials, because they're flexible, but they still hold their shape. So they hold the shape that the designer is looking to go for without a model actually inside of the dresses or the clothing or whatever have you. But obviously, it can be used for a lot more than just that. That's just what like a fashion person is necessarily using it for. You know, a flexible piece like that, that's a living hinge. So you could make a hinge on almost anything. So I could have 2 pieces of material, cardboard, takeout containers, construction paper, anything of that nature, and then use that material, the flexi material, to make a hinge between those 2 pieces if I want. So if you're doing like a bigger scale project, you can use the pen not just by itself, but with other materials that are laying around anyways, because you can always upcycle using the pen. You can always just take anything. It's the one thing, it's compatible with everything. You know, if you wanted to like weld your Lego pieces together, you can do that. Or you could make your own Lego pieces and then pull it off, and then, add to the Lego awesomeness.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's quite extensive.
Very extensive.
We have a professional pen as well, which is designed for architects, engineers that want specific materials, because we also have, I forgot, the ABS, PLA, and Flexi. So I showed you the Flexi. PLA is cornstarch. It's industrially biodegradable. It's not home postable, but it is industrially biodegradable. And then finally with the Pro Pen, I don't have one here, but you can set the speed and the temperature, and then it allows you to do wood, bronze, copper, nylon, polycarbonate, ABS, PLA, Flexi, with more materials to come, because you can specify exactly what temperature, which gives you a whole other range of abilities. Like if you wanted to sign your woodworking, for example, because you can then sand it and then stain it, or if you have a crack in your floorboard, you can use it to fill it in.
So the question when somebody asks you is well, what would we do with this? The answer,
yeah, it's what the heck wouldn't you do with it? So it's quite extensive what you can do in a classroom environment. You can do distributed teaching in the sense of, so let's pretend we're in a history class for a second, and the lesson for a 45-minute period is to make a temple. Let's say Roman era style temple. The students are all shown what the temple looks like, and maybe they're given large-scale printouts of the temple, and then they break up into groups, and each group is assigned a different piece of the temple that they have to construct together. And they each make a piece of that temple, and then once they finish their pieces as a class, they can come together and join all of those pieces together to actually make the structured temple itself, allowing you to make a reasonably large-sized object and having students be really involved that whole time in a 45-minute time period. Or, maybe if it's really big, you might have to do 2 45-minute time periods. But I often say, we have different kind of structures that you can make. For example, there's a car engine where you rotate it and the cylinders bounce up and down. And that is a 6-hour project for one person. Or for 12 students, that's a 30-minute project, because you're just making pieces and then joining all those pieces together, which is one of the keys to what we can do with a 3Doodler. So any subject can actually benefit from the use of this tool. It's a tactile tool, so it engages students in a way that few other devices do, and that they're using it. It's often seen by boys or males as a tech tool, so they love it, and it's often seen by women or female as a crafting tool, so they're not intimidated by it, which is what we often see with technology, is that there could be an intimidation factor, especially when we get into the middle school and the high school level. So this device actually helps to eliminate that intimidation and still be kind of this techie tool that can be used. So we've seen a lot of studies where teachers are using it, and they see an uptick in female participation within the sciences in the classroom, which is an unintended consequence that we're very excited about.
That's fun. That's amazing. I can't wait to get my hands on one and play with it.
Do you have these plans on your website?
Yeah, they're all free on our website, the3doodler.com. There's a project section. We also have a stencil section. So the project section has video step-by-steps. There's a stencil section, which is just PDF files. All of this stuff is free. We don't charge for the plans or anything like that. And then we have lesson plans in our EDU section. So if you go to the3doodler.com/EDU, any educator, even a homeschooler, you can sign up for an account, and then that gives you full access to all of our curriculum material. It's all freely available on our website. It's got lesson plans that are written by teachers for teachers. It has what curricular material and what different standards were written for this curriculum. Obviously, that's more important for the middle and the elementary. And for the high school, it gives more broader terms, because often we see the high schoolers or teachers want a more a general use case, and then they're going to integrate it into their lesson plans a little more freely than with the elementary and the middle schoolers. But it's all up there. It's all free. And then we also sell these in educational bundles or learning packs. And the learning packs come with 6 or 12 pens, nozzle sets for the Create Plus, so you can change the shape and size of this nozzle. Enough plastic for one curricular heavy usage year, the idea. And then as a school, you would reorder just the bundle of plastic every year to then integrate, so that you have a known cost going forward. And then that also comes with a 45-minute getting started lesson plan to enter into the classroom. 1, the teacher should go through it and see what it means. And then 2, when they go through it with their students, it's really helpful, because the idea is you just do that one 45-minute lesson plan, You never have to teach them again how to use the pen or what's going on. You just integrate the pen into some of your pre-existing stuff. And in some cases, it can be faster to use the 3Doodler than it is to use the traditional materials that might be used. You know, you're doing popsicle sticks and glue, you have to get out the area to safely do the glue, and you have to get the popsicle sticks and distribute the glue. Whereas with this, you're distributing pens, the 3Doodler pens, and some plastic, and they can really just draw on anything. They can use a piece of paper, or they don't have to use a piece of paper, but it's not going to get stuck to anything other than, there's one particular plastic it's stuck to, and that's water bottles. It loves polycarbonate, and it loves like water bottles. So it's good to know if you want it to get stuck to something, you could do that. But otherwise, it peels off of most surfaces.
What is your special education? So Brenda was telling me that special needs, or you've kind of have a space and an idea that this works in. So can you share that a little bit?
We have actually multiple spaces that we've seen quite a lot of success in it. We've seen a lot of positive response in the ADHD space in terms of students are using this, and because they have to constantly refocus in order to use the pen, they're focused on the larger project that they're trying to do. We've had quite a lot of positive results with autistic children using it, and that it's another way for them to express themselves. But the most impressive thing that we've seen is that blind and visually impaired students have picked it up. And we didn't come up with this at all. When we did the first Kickstarter, we started getting these emails from this Institute for the Blind or that Institute for the Blind, saying like, do you know what you've done? Do you know what you've done? And we're like, we clearly don't know what we've done, because I don't know what. I don't know. Is it good? What's going on? What's going on here? And they're like, you don't realize what this can be used for? We're like, no, please tell us what this. So it turns out that they're particularly interested in it because this is a way of writing on a flat piece of paper, a standard piece of paper, and being able to feel those raised lines. So for the first time ever, without having to use some complicated, clunky machine or some weird printer that is very specialized and whatnot, they could buy this regular old object and they can use it to do raised line graphing in math class for writing traditional characters that you can then feel, but a teacher can also look at, and if that teacher is sighted, they can just read it. They don't have to have some special training. Labeling in the classroom, the ability to stick up labels that students can then feel, the ability to make tactile maps. So something we often don't think about is that when a blind student comes into a classroom, they don't know how a classroom is necessarily laid out or a school is laid out. But by giving them a tactile map, they can actually feel where all the desks should be and things of that nature so that they can guide themselves to their desk and have a great idea of what's going on, as well as the entire school, because you can do a whole map. And that exit emergency sign on the door that you always have, wouldn't it be great to just doodle on top of that, and then that student can feel an emergency. All right, I need to go out, I need to take a left, and I go down some stairs, there'll be double doors, that's my exit, that's how I get out. So there are all these applications, particularly for the blind, that were far beyond anything that we've ever even envisioned, and we have students now that are teaching us what they see in their minds more effectively than ever before. You know, there's one student who was doing, what is a computer? Like, how does a computer work? And they used the 3Doodler to graph it all out and express and explain how they perceived a computer working. And a teacher working with that student was able to then aid them, as well as be like, oh, I've never thought about it like that. That's a different way to look at what this is. It's absolutely correct. I just never would have imagined that. But that's what's going inside of that student's head. So it's just a great device that allows some students who aren't necessarily the best at reading and writing, or they're more doer students, non-traditional learners, to express themselves more effectively so that a teacher can know that student actually is comprehending what's going on. They just may not be able to express it effectively. And this is another way for them to do that.
Blows my mind about the special ed, and I can totally see, kids with ADHD and just focusing attention issue kind of be able to really grasp onto this product. Do you typically see these in maker spaces, or do you see them in classrooms? Where do you see them?
I mean, I want to see them in both. We have a lot of librarians that are picking it up because libraries tend to be the ones that are creating the maker spaces these days. This is a great insta get started for a maker space. I think a lot of people get hung up in, I need a 3D printer, and I need a laser cutter, and I need, this and that. You don't need any of that. What you need is a designated space that you allow students to fail in and that they're allowed to make a bit of a mess. A hot glue gun and some cardboard is, frankly, the bare minimum of what you need in order to get some of these students going. I think using the 3Doodler is a great add-on, and it's a great way to go one step even further, and then you're able to draw and physically make creations like a 3D printer without having to maintain a 3D printer and the expense of those things. Same with the laser cutter. I mean, this is all expensive equipment that, frankly, most middle school and elementary school students, whilst they're able to use them, don't understand the underlying principles, and therefore it's a lost cause in the sense of why are we using this tool when half the time they don't even know the software really. They're going to Thingiverse or they're going to wherever, they're downloading something and then they're just printing it as if I went to the internet and printed out a paper, or something of that nature. I mean, it's great that they can use it and they can understand it on that level, but you want them to actually understand what's going on so that they can have a better comprehension. But so yeah, it is great for that. And then in the classroom, the fact that this can be used with current lesson plans, so like the ability in geometry class, instead of on a two-dimensional board drawing out three-dimensional objects, why don't we have kids make three-dimensional objects so they can have a better comprehension of what's going on? In physics class, if students understand a roller coaster on a piece of paper, isn't it so much better if they make that roller coaster and then test it and then see why the numbers on the piece of paper don't match the numbers in the physical roller coaster, and I have to postulate what changed or what happened. Oh, friction, that nasty thing there. Or the way that they constructed it may have an effect on the velocity of the marble or something of that nature. I even have an English teacher who used the 3Doodler Create Plus in her high school class. Each student was assigned a building from the early 1800s. They had to do a historical essay on the building. They had to look up the blueprints of the building from that time period, and then all using the same scale, construct a three-dimensional representation of that building. And then all of the buildings were put next to each other to recreate Main Street circa 1860, 1880. And then that gets those students more involved. As well as I've seen some teachers using it for underlining sentences, structures, and things of that nature. Because it's tactile, it has this feel to it, and it gets more ingrained into a student's head.
Wow, I can really see that for, special ed as well.
Special ed's easy. Hey, and the art teachers are also the easy. Yeah. Absolutely, you can make art and you can do all that stuff. But it's also a sneaky way of keeping crafting and artistic abilities inside of the rest of the curriculum material and still fitting within STEM curriculum. Because you're still making something, you're doing your engineering, you're mathing, you're filling out one of the STEMs, and you're using your hands, so it's tactile, and you might create something artistic at the same time. So there's no reason that we have to eliminate these things. We can just integrate them into the rest of it.
What I find interesting, too, is with the 3D printer, everyone's going to be watching the printer do the magic, right?
Right.
But now you've put that availability in the hands of every student, and they are not just watching, but they're actually creating and participating in the whole project.
No, they have to participate, yeah.
And then again, if you make a mistake, it's fixable, right?
It's not only is it fixable, but you can make something more out of it. Out of those mistakes often lead to something. But yeah, you can have a 3D printer in a classroom, and all those kids are just staring at it. Or for the same cost as that 3D printer, every single student in that classroom can have a 3Doodler and be doing something and actually learning as a result of that doing. So absolutely. As well as it's a great companion tool if you already have a 3D printer, because you can join 3D prints together by welding using the pen. You can augment prints, meaning you can doodle on top of them. It really is one of these universal tools. So If you don't have a 3D printer, it's a great way of introducing the concept of 3D printing as well as the engineering aspects of 3D printing into a classroom and have it distributed so that all the students are doing it. If you have a 3D printer, it's a great add-on tool that students can use after they've 3D printed, or if the 3D printer makes a mistake, or to sketch. So quite often I find myself now, I sketch my objects using 3Doodler in the real world. Then I go to the computer and I model it in software, and then I 3D print it. Because before I was modeling it in software, printing it, saying, oh nuts, I forgot this. and then printing it again. Oh, by doing that, I caused this. Printing it again. Oh, one more screw hole. Printing it again, and then being like, okay, now it's done. But I've eliminated a lot of those back and forth by first sketching it and then holding it up in my hands so that when I'm on the computer making that three-dimensional object, I can look around and go, you know what I forgot? Is if I don't have this here, these pieces won't fit together. Because I'm holding it and I can look at it, it helps a lot. And then you only print once or maybe 2 times. So it can help reduce that time as well.
And I like the fact that your filament, especially in the younger kid version, is like home biodegradable.
Yeah. It's our long-term goal to get to all of our materials to be a home compostable material.
So I'm now thinking about these teachers. Your target audience is obviously anyone in the classroom, anyone in a makerspace, anyone who's doing homeschool, anyone who wants their kids to be able to participate in something, at home to make or create. How do your pricing models look? And I don't want to lock you into anything because I know this is a podcast, but like, what's our range?
So for schools and libraries and educators of that nature, we have special pricing on our EDU section. You have to get approved as an EDU buyer, but it's a very simple process. We just fill out our little form. We make sure that you're an educator. Homeschoolers are allowed to do it too, so it's totally cool. Or libraries. Then we sell in those learning packs. So it's $350 for the 6-pack, and it's $600 for a 12. And mind you, that comes with curriculum material, posters, tools. We have these things called doodle blocks. They're objects that have grooves in them, and you doodle into the grooves and you pop the pieces out so they get consistent repeat of pieces. If you're doing something like robotics or something of that nature, you always want to be able to do that. And then enough plastic for lack of a better word, to last a curricular school year of heavy usage of those pens. It also comes with USB cables for recharging. Yeah, so that's for the start, the elementaries. And then for the Create Plus, it's $650 for the 12 bundle. Same deal, except that it comes with a nozzle set because you can change the shape and size of these nozzles, the plastic, and things like that. And then it also comes with unblocking tools and these things that are all in the teacher's bundle. And everything's been separated out. We actually spent a whole bunch of time communicating with teachers and getting feedback on how to improve these things. So now these packs are set up so that you hand out student learning packs. You hand out these student packs that have 3 pens per pack and everything you need, and the students collect their plastic. And then we have the 12-pack, which is $1,200 for the Create Plus. And that's more for like high school, end of middle school, only because this is hot.
Right.
So this is a very hot temperature. That's what thermoplastics normally run at. We had to go weird and crazy with this guy to make something that wasn't hot. And that's where that age division really comes in. So yeah, for less than the cost of a 3D printer, you can outlay a classroom 12 pens in the high school level. And then you just reorder a bundle of plastic every year, and it's around $200 for a bundle of a 12 learning pack bundle of plastic.
And they come in multiple colors, right?
Oh, God, yes. So for the Create, which is the high school one, we have different materials in different colors. So we have, for example, this is clearly clear, as well as the Flexies are included, and there are multiple colors on flexibles. There's actually 65 colors for the Create Plus that are available. It comes with a standard smattering of colors for that one. And then there are 20 some odd colors for the Start that are available, and most of those colors are included in the Start bundle learning packs. So yeah, we think it's good value, actually. Like, it's enough to keep a classroom going for a year, and then the idea being you just reorder the plastic every year.
And if somebody wants to just try one, like I want to get that low temperature one for my 10-year-old, let's say, Christmas present.
As a Christmas present, and not as a educator.
Not as a bundle, yeah.
Not as a bundle. We'd sell them at retail for $49 for the Start, and it's $79 for the Create Plus. They're available at Barnes & Noble's, Target, Amazon. Michael's has the Start pen and a bunch of accessories. And then we have all sorts of add-on bundles and things of that nature that are all very STEMmy. To be quite honest, we didn't know we were doing STEM when we first started. And we're like, hey, look at that. Hey, we're doing STEM. So there, for example, there's a robot kit that comes with a motor battery box, and you're able to make working robots by simply making the pieces and assembling them together. There's a design kit that allows you, the idea is you have to come up with product design. You come up with objects and you make them that you would use in your daily life. Headphone wrappers, or we have a boombox speaker that you put the cell phone into and its amplifier. So we have a whole series of kits for both the Create pen as well as for the Start that help you get started, and you can buy it with a pen or without a pen. We just introduced our Hexbugs kit. So we did a deal with Innovation first, and we're those little Hexbugs. You get 3 Hexbugs. They're all missing their legs. And then we offer trays that you doodle into the trays and you pop the pieces out, and then you add them onto the Hexbugs, and then all of a sudden you can make them move in different ways depending on how you set up the legs. We do have add-ons that are coming out as well for the educational field specifically as well. We have, for example, a ball and socket mold that's coming out. So you use the pen and a piece of silicone, you pop it out, and you have a ball and a socket, and you're able to make 3D creatures or stop motion animation type of thing. Or you can make a finger, like the hands for finger, nature, anything that you want to move, we can do that. And then it also comes with a bendable piece of track. It's a silicone mold. You can doodle into it, and then you have a piece of track, and you snap all the pieces of track together to make a marble run.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, for physics class. As well as just ABC doodle block where you can fill in the letters. And these are silicon, so they work with both the Create and the Start. So whichever one you want. There's no end. I'm fascinated with, just personally fascinated with this idea of creating design thinkers with kids. And this tool just allows kids to really not have any limits on the way they're design thinking. So if teachers in their classroom are doing any kind of design thinking work, or like you were saying, they come up with that, they have to create something that's useful in real life. That's just a great kit right there to get people started and excited about it. Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm loving it. There might be a Christmas present for Jack and I in our future.
Oh, but that's the other thing is these materials are all heavily tested and there's nothing toxic about them. In fact, we source these consumables are all sourced from the United Kingdom, United States, and Spain.
Okay.
Just because we put that much effort and time into making sure this stuff is exactly as it's meant to be and that it's past all its heavy metals and everything of that nature.
Very nice.
That's fantastic. Just parents with kids and teachers, we care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's what kind of worries me about some of these other, I don't know if I want to call them knockoffs, but other brands that are doing similar to what you're doing.
Yeah, there are knockoffs on the market. They do follow us quite heavily, and they've tried recently entering the educational space, but they don't seem to quite comprehend what you can do with this, because I know we were talking at ISTE that you just saw them doing outlines of states.
Right.
It's great. What do I need this for my classroom? But the truth is you do need that curriculum material on the back end and the explanations and all of the tools that we have available. That's really what helps you get through to the fact that it's anything. It's you're running a robotics lab. This is the ultimate tool for that. Even if you're just trying to teach kids about how a Roman town was laid out, this is a great way of doing that. Those tactile maps work great for sighted people as much as they do for non-sighted people. So there are just these endless opportunities, and I think a lot of the knockoffs, and they are knockoffs because we invented the concept, I think, and we own the patent on it. But they are always following, and they're never fully aware, and they're often cheaping out. Whereas we spend a lot of time making sure that we have quality, long-lasting material, as well as we have 24/7 customer support, and we have dedicated educational customer support as well. And we often, if there's an issue, we usually just swap the pens out, or we walk you through how to prevent the issue in the future and what may have caused the issue, and here's how you could fix the simple ones. So we're there to help because we think that this is an amazing opportunity as a tool to enter into the school system, that it can truly transform how students are behaving and acting.
No, I am a huge fan of this. Just kind of, I have a tactile learner just personally, and I work in these schools where I see these kids who are not, they're just non-traditional learners.
Yeah.
And I think this is an easy way to kind of get them engaged with the material. I think the way that you've invented the curriculum for teachers is amazing. I think you're absolutely right when you say that's the one thing teachers want. Is give me the tool. I'll use it, but I need to have the background and I need to be able to map it to the standards too.
Yeah, it's very important.
Because otherwise I don't have time in my day, right? Like I don't have time in my day to do something that doesn't map to a standard because my time is so limited with these guys. And then it also, I think, can be cross-curricular, right? So they could be studying how to make that the Roman temple, but their mathematics classes coming in or geometry classes coming in, and they're using algebraic equations so you're cross-curricular now. So I'm a big supporter of that type of
throw in the golden ratio, and you can have a bit of a history lesson on top of it too within math class.
You can do all of it. When you say the possibilities are endless, your motto should be, what can't you do with it?
I mean, I think one of the biggest advantages, like across from the knockoffs, is, I mean, how dangerous can some of these filaments be? You know, you don't know where they're coming from, and especially if you're having little kids that are using it, I don't want any of that near my kids' mouths or, hands. And
we assume that there's always a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old in the household, right, and that 2-year-old or 3-year-old puts everything in their mouth, which is why the subcomponents are all food grade for our plastic. We can't claim food grade like FDA because we haven't done that yet, and it's a longer process. But we have everything in place ready to do it. But all the subcomponents are food safe, and as a result, like, we have no qualms if someone puts it in their mouth. You shouldn't put it in your mouth. You're not supposed to put it in your mouth, but it's not going to result in anything that's not going to cause any damage or something. We all know that paste eater.
Yeah,
there's always one.
I like the prototyping, like what you were doing initially, Max. That the design, making a prototype. We do it right now in shoebox, right? We get an old shoebox and we start making the prototypes and out of cardboard or whatever the kids have around the house, makerspace kind of stuff. But this just adds a whole nother level to that.
So it's that thing that can help you get over everything. Not to mention that you can use it in replacement of the glue gun at the same time. So that you can be touching the material as it's coming out, start pen, or using the Create Plus pen to weld these pieces together more effectively than you were ever able to do it with a hot glue gun, because it's not flexible. The material can be rigid when you want it.
I'm excited. Okay, so we want to drive traffic, educational traffic to your site. So can you tell us your website again?
edu.the3doodler.com. You can follow us on social media. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. But there's some great studies on there, as well as curriculum material and resources that are all available. Or you can go to our main page, 3doodler.com, where there are also more kind of fun-based stuff, i.e. stencils and videos.
Excellent. So all your social media sites are the 3Doodler, 3 Doodler. Same with your website.
So yeah. Plus, it fixes anything that's made out of plastic. So anything in the house that you have that's broken, back of the remote control piece that always breaks or something like that, you can weld the pieces back together using the 3D.
Wow. So
it really is this universal tool. Anything in the classroom that's broken, you can also weld back together. Our neighbors gave us a xylophone. They're like, but it's broken. It's missing a cap piece. And I'm like, oh, no problem. And I doodled the cap for the xylophone, and then I doodled new hammers for my little child to use on the xylophone. So as you can see, one of the metal caps is missing, so I doodled that on. And then this is a strand of material that I then doodled to.
Wow.
Nice.
So rather than having to throw this toy away, I simply repaired the part of it that was dangerous and then recreated the piece that was missing. So why throw something away when you can fix it?
What a concept.
Right? That's the 1950s.
I know, it is, right? And all of that don't forget all that stuff that you're takeout containers and things like shoe boxes. all that stuff just that you're using already with students can be used with a 3Doodler. So if you're making a bigger project, instead of 3Doodling like 4 sides for a big container, cut 4 sides out of some takeout container plastic or something like that, and then use the 3Doodler to weld those pieces together.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out the site for stencils and stuff like that.
Yeah, I can't wait to get on the website and do that. Max, thank you so much for your time today.
No, thank you.
So excited. Where are you going? Are you doing any demos anywhere? Are you at any conferences coming up?
I'm doing the Girl Scouts of America soon.
What is that?
So we're now selling to the Girl Scouts of America. So Girl Scout troops can purchase pens and things of that nature. My hope is to eventually get a doodle badge. Be able to doodle their own badge to then get the badge.
Right on. Smart.
But I think that's the next. Mainly where we do demos at the Museum of Modern Art and stuff like that in New York pretty regularly. And then pretty soon we'll be starting at the Girl Scouts of America in New York City.
We'll stay connected, and thank you for sharing that with us today. I think hopefully our teachers can do maybe some Donors Choose or something like that.
We've always been a friend of Donors Choose.
There's another one that teachers can use too.
GoFundMe?
Yeah, GoFundMe, the GoFundMe.
Yeah, you can use a GoFundMe campaign.
Catholic school teachers have to use GoFundMe because they can't use the Donors Choose. But so, yeah. Irony.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Public school only.
Public school only. No.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
So we work with a lot of Catholic schools. Our institute out of the university does. So we always tell them use the GoFundMe instead.
Right.
So, but yeah, well, we're excited, and hopefully our listeners will get excited and go buy some 3Doodlers.
Yeah, I hope so. All right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And have a great weekend.
Thanks.
We're on.
We're live.
We are live.
We're Facebook Live, and we are recording our podcast.
Right.
Our pre-Q podcast, spring 2019. And my mom says hello. Hi, Mom. Thanks for watching us. We are excited because this week is our 1-year anniversary of the podcast episode. Woohoo! We've been recording episodes, 27 or so episodes that we've recorded over the last year. We're very happy, very proud of the work that we've put into that. And all of the episodes, all of the teachers that we've highlighted, all of the software that we've highlighted, we're really excited about that. So thank you to all of our supporters and listeners for that.
Yes, thank you very much. It's been a wild ride.
Most of the time we don't know what we're doing. It's fine. It's fine. Like doing a live Facebook.
Right. We're live and learn.
We're learning that maybe only my mom will show up.
That's right.
And but you might be watching this after the fact too, so it's fine.
Lifelong learners. That's us.
That's us. So we are getting ready for in countdown T-minus week and a half.
Yeah.
I don't know how many days.
Yep.
We're going to be at Palm Springs Q, and so we're getting ready for that. We've got our swag. We've got lots of stickers that we've ordered. You've seen those on Twitter, and we've got our fans that we've ordered, and we've got other things, fun things that we've got. Giveaways. Do we want to talk about our giveaways?
At the end. At the end, yeah.
Brenda doesn't like to give it away too soon. We got stuff. What else do we want to talk about, Brenda?
Well, we're just getting super excited about going and meeting all of you. So please, we would love to have you reach out if you see us at the Q conference in Palm Springs, beautiful Palm Springs. We're supposed to be having fantastic weather that weekend, and so very much looking forward to it. And please reach out. Tell us how you like it. Tell us what you'd like to hear more of. We want to talk to you. And also, if you are there, happen to be there by yourself, if you happen to be the only person from your district or your school that's going and you don't know anybody, absolutely reach out to us.
Yeah. We'll connect you with other folks that might not have anybody else from their district, but also you can just hang out with us.
Right.
Like we kind of have, I don't know, I get lonely sometimes.
Yeah.
I like to have people join me on my
Absolutely.
session. My sessions are up on Sched already. So if you are going to the conference and you have your Sched set up, you can just search for me and you can find my my Sched, the sessions that I'm looking to go to. I definitely overpick, which I recommend for you too, because sometimes the sessions can be really full and you might not get into the one you really want to get into. So just have a backup or two. The other thing I like to do is if you come find us and you're like, hey, I'm here by myself and I'm an administrator, and do you have any recommendations of where I should go? This is my first time going. I can pull up my sched and be like, yeah, you should definitely go to this admin session, or you're interested in blended learning or AR/VR. I can definitely recommend some sessions for you. So that's why I like to kind of overbook my sched. But you can kind of see where I'm gonna be. Brenda will get hers up pretty soon as well, and you'll be able to find her sessions as well. So we're excited about that.
Mm-hmm. And just a couple quick tips on attending the conference like Q. We definitely, of course, we're going to run through these very quickly, but good walking shoes and maybe bring 2 different pairs.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way. Always bring 2 pairs of shoes, because you're going to do a lot of walking, and walking in 1 pair of shoes can be tough too. This last year, Q went green, so definitely bring a refillable water bottle.
Where's yours?
Yep, there's mine. And mine's ready, getting ready for some new stickers at our sticker swap that's coming up at the end. Thank you.
One of us is a little...
I'm injured.
Slightly injured.
So definitely bring your water bottle. Definitely bring snacks, and they won't be giving out paper. There's not going to be a paper schedule, so you're going to need to have a device. Download the Sched app, bookmark it on your phone if you can. They'll email you every morning what you've signed up for, all that kind of stuff. So I love the fact that we've gone green.
Right, and if you get lost, there's a map as well I believe on the Sched,
yep.
And there will also be people at most of the sessions that will help you try to find your next session. So.
Yeah. And bring a backpack or some kind of a bag. Definitely bring extra chargers if you've got lipstick chargers or portable chargers. Try not to have anything that plugs into the wall except at night to recharge. So a couple of those. And then bring your business cards. Bring, if that's
whatever
what
you
you're
have
there for to network, bring whatever you've got. Definitely follow Q19 on Twitter. You can follow us on Twitter. We'll be doing some Instagram live things. We'll be doing some maybe Twitter live things and maybe Facebook live things if we can figure that out. So we're excited to do as many events for those who can't make it too. We'll be doing like little live from Q events as well.
Right. So what you want to do right now, look at the Sched.
Yeah, if you haven't already.
And try to map out where it is, and hopefully you can find a backup session that's not too far away. And then they don't do it at the Hard Rock, I don't think, anymore. So it should be a little easier to get from one session to another. And they're already planning on having probably the more popular ones in the bigger rooms. So, and if it happen to be extremely busy, then I think they will have a overflow room as well, broadcast on the screens above.
And we were told that there's going to be some like Periscope live streams and things like that. So just stay tuned. Check out the Twitter and the Sched. Sign up for the tweets on Q. I think you can text Q to 27,000,
I think,
and it'll send you tweets of the different events and
that's
changes.
Very important.
Yeah,
because you can get updates that morning too, or all day long, things going on. So
yeah,
extremely important.
We're definitely going to hit the vendor floor this year. Be looking for new products, new software, new exciting things that teachers might be using in their classroom that we will highlight on our podcast next year. So we're excited to hit the vendor floor. We block out almost a half a day to just walk the vendor floor,
right?
And just spend meeting people and talking to people. So if that's something you're interested in, or you have something specific you want to look for, definitely make the time to meet those people and find friends. I got a lot of friends that are there, and I love that space. So definitely take that time.
And it's chock full this year. Yeah. Every spot is taken. So
that's great.
Make use of those resources, because even if your school district does not they haven't purchased an item that's located there, you may find something and it may be free, and you may be able to try it or do a pilot program with them. So definitely want to talk to them if it's something that you're very much interested in.
Okay, what's next? Come find us.
Come find us.
All right, so come find us.
We are definitely going to be in certain places at very specific times.
Yes. So write this down. We are going on Thursday. We are at the membership booth, right?
Right, which will, I think, be right in the main
atrium there of the convention center. Thursday from 2 to 3. We're going to be there again Friday from 11 to 12. We're going to be there again Saturday from 8 to 9. That's Brenda's shift because it's really early. And then, those are the 3 times that we've signed up to be at the new member booth. And you don't have to be a new member to come find us. That's where you can come get stickers, and you can come get swags, you can get fans from us, you can get any whatever other things we have, buttons or whatever else we've got. And then we're going to be at the sticker swap on Saturday from 11:45 to 12:30.
And that should be
huge.
Crazy.
That's going to be huge. That's going to be where like you're going to want to go to get stickers if you're a sticker fan. Our stickers will be there, and so will tons and tons of other people's. We got nice little stickers. We even have limited edition car window stickers.
Yes.
You really want to limited edition. There's only
That's right.
There's a very few of those. So, those are only going to go to people who are really going to put it
big
on their
fans.
car. Huge, big fans of ours. My mom might get one because she's still listening to us. She might get one for her car. Okay, now can we talk about the...
Yes.
Okay, so we are going to have a big raffle giveaway. So for those of you who subscribe to our podcast, and even for those of you who don't, if you show us that you are subscribed to our podcast, or subscribe on the spot while we're there with you, you will have a chance to enter into a raffle for a 3Doodler 3D pen that we've been given to raffle off. So we're excited about that. We may even have some other pretty cool stuff to raffle off too, but that's still on the down low. We haven't announced that yet. So we are hoping to. All you have to do is find one of us. We might have a couple other people out in the audience, out in the friends of ours that might have some subscribe information as well, but they will have the secret code to join the raffle and be entered in to win. We will be drawing for that raffle on Saturday at
1:45.
1:45. So Twitter will be randomly generating that person from all of the people that have showed us that they have subscribed, or either currently or at that weekend. So you do have to be at Q to win. So those of you who aren't going to Q, don't be sad. We'll have some other raffle coming up later on with something else really fun. But this was a way for us to engage with you guys at the conference, and we're super excited to be giving that away. So 3Doodler pen.
Look for us, purple shirts.
Purple shirts. We'll be wearing purple shirts every day. Where's my purple shirt? It's under there. It's under my cast.
Oh, yeah.
And like I said, there could be a couple other folks wandering around that might have that. It will also be... definitely find us at the member booth.
Right.
That's the best place to find us.
And the sticker swap.
And
it'll just be a quick little Google.
It's a Google form. With like maybe your name and your email address and maybe your Twitter handle if you have one. But otherwise, that's just for us to get a hold of you. We're not selling anything to you.
Right. And we'd love to give it away.
Yeah,
that day. Yes. We want to hand it over to you. So if you're there on Saturday.
Yeah, I guess we should say winner must be present to win, because we don't want to take it home with us again. Not that it's big, but it's a I can't raise my hand, but it's a
but it's
a good box. So we don't want to hand it off to you so you can go use it in the classroom right away and start tweeting about it and sharing it.
So we'll be at the end of when we finish speaking today, we're going to be interviewing Max Bogue, and he is the founder of the 3Doodler pen. So it's an interesting episode, and we're also going to try to put something up on YouTube.
Yeah, because he does a lot of demonstrations.
Right.
So we videotaped that recording, that interview. So definitely check it out on YouTube, because he does a lot of demonstrations with the 3Doodler.
Right.
All right.
So
come find us.
Come find us.
We are, apparently, I say, big fan. And you'll get your big fans.
And it should be warm. So
it's going to be nice and warm when you got to walk. If you got to walk to a bus stop or
it'll keep the sun off your face.
Yeah. Oh.
It's multi-purpose.
And when you're out, you take pictures and show everybody that you're a big fan of the keynote speakers.
Right.
We want you. So
if you're in a session, you just
look at Courtney joined us. Hi, Courtney.
Hey, Courtney.
Courtney, we're big fans of yours, Courtney. Courtney, you're going to get a fan. We're super excited. So thank you guys. I think that we hit everything on our list. So watch our episodes. If you're at Q, come find us to get your fan, to get your stickers, to get entered into the raffle. If you're just lonely and you want to hang out with us, we're here.
Yep.
We're going to be at the Renaissance. We're going to be at the convention center. We're going to be everywhere.
We'll be there all day, every day.
All day, every day. Text us, DM us, and have fun.
And if you have something you're really interested in doing on Saturday night, we're still trying to work out those plans. So.
Yeah. anything can happen.
That's right.
Brenda's in charge of scheduling. Anything. Last time I let her be in charge, she asked me if. Never mind. I was claustrophobic. Was I claustrophobic? Was I scared of dark places? And there were other things involved.
We couldn't mention.
We did have fun.
Yeah,
it could be an escape room.
Right.
Could be a brewery event. You just never know when Brenda's in charge of scheduling.
Yes.
So it could be really
and
fun.
we are big fans of escape rooms.
Yes.
So it's a very good chance that we could be there on a Saturday night.
Yeah, or brew queues.
Brew queues, yes,
Yeah.
we're trying to do that as well.
You never know.
Nope.
All right.
So
what else do we got?
I
think we're
now
done.
You guys are in the loop.
Yeah. Thank you for the people that joined us and for the people that will join us afterwards and watch this not live. Too bad.
You missed out, but
you missed out.
Now you know all the info.
Yes.
So
the 411 on cue.
Come find us.
All right. I'm going to end the live session. Bye, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And we're out.
Thanks for listening to the MyTech Toolbelt podcast. If you have enjoyed listening, please rate us on Apple Podcasts or send us some feedback on our website, mytechtoolbelt.com. We would love to hear from you. This will help us deliver the content that you want to hear. Thanks, and we're out.